Hey, it's Mark Roberts, Rod Rinks, Davey Dave here on Let's Get Into Entertainment today.
Who's Rod?
I'm sorry. That's Teddy here. But here we are on Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment, Mr. Roberts.
That's what's up, Davey Dave.
The business of entertainment goes deep, man. And today we're going to be talking to Michelle Koshman. I hope I got that name right. She's the Chief Creative Officer of AMB Publicity. Michelle Koshman is a publicist to the Emmy Awards, co-founder of the Hollywood Creative Academy. She's executive producer of the Youth Oscars.
Nice.
Working for 20 years in this business, and she's found a way to make these entertainment shows and these award shows become valuable to both the people winning awards and the people being nominated for awards. So what we're going to talk about today on the business of entertainment is we're going to talk to Michelle about how these award shows work and where the value is in them. And I'm talking about value across the board, not just for actors and singers and performers, but also for the people behind the scenes, right? How is there value in this for your movie?
Yeah.
Made in Mexico. Carlos Almaraz, is there value here in getting nominated for an awards, and how do you do that?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back with Michelle Koshman. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment.
I took a breath and there it was. We get into the business of entertainment, and every week I think we find someone new to talk to that kind of gives us some insight as to the other facets of this fascinating business that we're in, right? Yeah. You get into the business and you think all you want to do is this one thing, and then you start to realize, ooh, there's all these other things connected to it, right? And Michelle Koshman, who we're going to call in a second, is Chief Creative Officer at AMD Publicity. And now they're producing shows, they're doing award shows, they're representing films and getting them nominated. And I don't know, the whole thing sounds fascinating to me. So let's get her on the phone and see what her story is. Michelle?
How are you?
Good. I want to introduce you to my co-hosts here. I got Rod Tootie Rinks. His real name's Rod Rinks, but we call him Tootie.
And nice to meet you, Michelle.
Hi, Tootie.
And then I've got
nice to meet you.
I've got Dave here on the ones and twos.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, it sounds so official. Yeah. So I've been reviewing a lot of your work and the videos that you sent me, and I'm going to confess, I think that there's a lot to what you're doing, and you're going to have to walk us through it all because it's pretty remarkable.
I love talking about this, and I love that we kind of reverse engineered it.
So, Michelle, you're the Chief Creative Officer of AMD Publicity. You're a publicist to the Emmy Awards, co-founder of the Hollywood Creative Academy, and the executive producer of the Youth Oscars. Is that right?
Correct.
These award shows translate into money for lots of people, not just the actors and the filmmakers and stuff, but for many people, right? So how does it work? Yeah,
I love talking about this because, as you said, it's a little bit of a mystery, even though everyone loves them. Whether you work in the entertainment industry or not, there is a fascination to the award shows. And it's really so much of an internal element for the industry that drives it, profit value. So working in entertainment publicity, I was in a certain part of the industry where we started trying to figure out how to kind of reverse engineer how it works. We became familiar and started working for these various award shows, and we started seeing basically the common theme of why they're important to people in the industry. So I always say right off the bat, there's one thing important to establish is what sort of an award show, what sort of an awards guild something is. You have merit awards, which we mostly know as the Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys, and then you have choice awards, People's Choice, Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice, and they're determined mostly by different things. Merit awards are based on talent, technique, artistry. Choice awards are going to be on popularity, sales, that sort of thing, which is why it's called a choice award show. For the most part, winning an award of pretty much any award of merit is going to be good for someone in their field. But what we all want to win is the bigger ones, right? The merit awards, or we'll even say the Oscars of this or that. Basically, the way that award shows work is the same process. You submit a project, an artist, a film, a song, an album, whatever it is, that is pulled by a nomination committee. And the nomination committee usually is other executives in the industry. They could be studio executives, they could be agents, reps, other creators, vetted and invited for that year. Then nominations are selected, and the nominations then get passed along to the members who are invited to vote on them. And to become a member, you usually have to have presented a body of work that says that you are qualified and you know what you're talking about in this field to begin with. So in a sense, you are getting judged by your peers, which is why we kind of tend to see waves or trends in the values of storytelling. And you can compare even old Hollywood to current Hollywood. They're going to reflect the values of those voting members. And so from those members, then they pretty much vote and they determine winners, and those are presented at the award show.
Wow. So, so let me ask you this: a lot of our listeners are new filmmakers. Tootie here is a very, very young filmmaker.
Very young.
Very young.
Made a small.
Go Tootie!
And
all right.
Part of our podcast has covered the making of one of his independent films called Made in Mexico. So if someone that doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but has a movie out there, has got into Sundance and some festivals and is potentially on the verge of some sort of deal, or makes a deal with Netflix or Amazon or something like that, how do you determine whether or not a film is good enough to really campaign for an award, or a performance is good enough to campaign for an award? Is there a decision-making process early on for the filmmaker and the publicity firm or anything like that?
I'll make it very easy for you with a blanket statement, which is kind of a dangerous thing to do in general, but I'm going to say it because I so strongly believe this. In my opinion, it's always wise to try to campaign for some sort of award recognition. And I'll tell you why exactly, because you talked about the qualifying festivals. So there's probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of festivals around the world. And then the select few that will qualify you to submit for larger award shows, right? And they'll have their own requirements. But award show affiliation really gets you three things. Whether you win or not, you're going to get publicity, you're going to get legitimacy, and you're going to get an element of power within your industry. So let me take just the legitimacy through award shows. The role of the awards in the entertainment industry is to recognize excellence. So whether you whether you win or not, just an affiliation through a nomination is on some level verifying the legitimacy of you as a creator or as an artist. Only a very small percentage qualify of the submissions that are nominated. It's a very small percentage. So that third-party endorsement validates your hard work,
wow,
your artistry.
We're going to get deeper into this. I'm going to ask you another question.
Oh my
here.
Goodness! Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's go. I love it.
All right. Assuming, you get into one of those qualifying festivals, which is Sundance. It's is South by Southwest one of them? Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's about eight
There's
or
about
nine
eight
or
of them,
so.
right? Yeah. So, Toronto, something like that. So let's assume Tootie gets his film into one of those, and all of a sudden he now qualifies for an award. What would he do to start campaigning for his film to potentially be noticed as an award contender? How would he go about connecting those dots?
Well, the easiest but probably more expensive route is to hire a publicist. Because this is a lot of what they do, the ones that specifically work with these award shows or with these festivals. However, once you become nominated or accepted by an awards guild, remember, you've now aligned yourself to a brand that's bigger and stronger than you. That power of proximity is going to open doors that you can't just knock on and cold call. So from brand development, press coverage, profits, this is your key to brand awareness. Reaching out to press, reaching out to the media, developing your message, what you stand for, building your dossier, your look, your style, who you are as an artist. You're garnering press, you're gaining industry recognition, industry reputation, and you're building a reputation that you're going to piggyback on, right, with all these contacts. It gives you a great amount of negotiating power. So whether it's with the press or it's with screening opportunities. It could be in any way that you want to publicize this project. You are now an award qualifying project director, artist.
That's amazing. So, the problem is that Tootie's still writing down dossier. Hang on a second. D O.
No, not D O.
It's a good thing to have.
D-U.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, and remember too who you're connecting with. A lot of the people you're going to meet, depending on which awards guild it is, these are otherwise unattainable contacts. Right. We don't just walk up or email somebody, but when I remember 2011, my company produced the first Comic-Con gifting suite downtown San Diego, and we had the red carpet. It was massive, and the fire marshal says, "Hey, you got to kind of keep this down." And I'm trying to rally publicists, and one of them said, "I can't do that. They're Grammy winners." That alone, I had no idea who they were, but that alone struck a chord with me, and I said, "Oh, absolutely, let's bring them through." That respect didn't need to be earned over 40, 50 years because they had a Grammy. They had the power of the award behind them.
Wow. That's fascinating. So this it still feels a little daunting. It still feels like it's not quite available. I'm usually not at a loss for words with some of our guests, but I feel like I can learn a lot from you. So I want to get to more questions here.
Please.
So I have a film called, hang on a second. I got so many.
Oh God, here we go. I got so many.
Brag.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
yeah. I did a documentary. I did a documentary called Carlos Almaraz Playing with Fire, which is playing on Netflix now. Now it's a beautiful art documentary. I'm very proud of it. So I submitted it to the Producers Guild of America, which I'm a member of. I submitted it for a producers award. Now, all I did was go pay the $150 and, give them all the information they needed, but I did nothing further. So use me as an example of what a filmmaker could do in that particular case, because really I just submitted, I paid my entry, and I'm doing nothing else.
I think you're really missing out. But the good news is you paid your fees, and so this entitled you by that contract to use that affiliation. First of all, any of these larger guilds, Producers Guild, Writers Guild, even the film festivals, they're, even now during times of COVID and lockdown, they're doing networking engagements. They're doing live opportunities to connect. You're connecting with other players, whether it's a producer, distributor, publicist, organization that is interested in the message of your product. They're going to be there. And not just the people that are kind of curious about it. They're obviously key players. They're there as well. So you have brought down your pool to such a small amount that it's shooting fish in a barrel. If you just practice your elevator pitch, get your idea succinct, and you'd be able to explain yourself. That should be on all of your marketing materials, all of your publicity platforms, every social media account, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. I don't care. If you have qualified and you've been determined by the Producers Guild of America or the Writers Guild of America to qualify at that level, that's a humble brag, because they said you were qualified, not you saying you're qualified.
Right.
It's not self-marketing, it's publicity.
So that's how you get people to notice and to potentially go like, oh, look, they're on a ballot somewhere. And I remember that because it was on social media or something like that.
Most definitely. These affirmations are like sifting for a consumer. They're like Yelp. They're like Critic Review. They've gone through all of the submissions. They qualified you and they said, this is quality work. That wasn't you bragging about yourself. Absolutely put that out there. Networking, engagement, all of your social media. You can reach out with confidence and with a position of power to even organizations or movements and say, this is what I'm doing. It's been vetted by this organization and this guild that's even stronger than me.
Right. So please vote for me kind of thing, right?
Most definitely. Yeah. You can use that to gain more funding, pay rates, creative personal terms, even acquiring greater representation. Maybe you've got an agent, a manager, a publicist. You want to get to the next level. There are specifics. Let's say someone worked in the genre of horror films and they kind of found a little niche, but they wanted to get more into family films. Well, once you win an award from the Movie Guide Awards, you're going to be getting offers from Hallmark Channel and all of those sorts of different family channel driven distribution. So that is kind of what awards does. It's speaking for you, and we trust third-party endorsements more than we will self-bragging.
Right. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Another thing that you talked about that I think I heard on an interview somewhere. You talk about social media trumping marketing.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you've got several parts of social media that traditional marketing, and even on some level, publicity just can't quite do. For one thing, we all have access to it. For zero or little cost, we all have access to that. We don't have to buy banners, flyers. We don't have to get commercials or ads. We can do social media. We just need to identify our message, our elevator pitch, what we stand for. That's the hardest part for most people, like writing your own bio. That's the hardest part for a lot of people. So we all have access to it. Secondly, we have attention of everyone. It's literally in the palm of their hands. They say that a smartphone now has more capability than Ronald Reagan had to rule the free world. And we have it in the hand of teenagers, consumers, with $150 billion annually to spend in consumer markets. And if you're witty, clever, you reach out, quantity on some level over quality, you can catch people's attention. And now there's brand recognition. Eventually there becomes brand loyalty. And now that translates to ticket purchasers, that translates to fans, or a sellable audience to a distributor.
Wow.
That's actually part of my marketing scam, or not scam. That came out a little wrong. Marketing plan.
Absolutely. And remember too, this is where you really get to apprise and tell your story. I work in entertainment PR. There is such a song and dance when you're working with traditional media, who we love and respect. Shout out to all of you. But we can't control that narrative. We try really hard. But at the end of the day, the journalist has freedom of speech to write whatever they want. When you have social media, you are apprising, you are informing your story, your position, and you get instant feedback. Back in the days of Mad Men or traditional marketing campaigns, they'd put it out there, and every month or every quarter, they would say, was it profitable? Right away, you can tell whether something is accepted and embraced or not, and you can lean into whatever is accepted, or you might even adjust. It could be a wake-up call to yourself as an artist or as a creator, and you go, you know what? People aren't liking this. Maybe I'm off. Let me change it a little bit.
What I really like about social media is that you could take something like Deadline that does a piece on you, and then you can take that piece, put it on your social media, and then you can comment whatever you want in your post, which, you end up, I always end up doing a little self-promotion in addition to the promotion, right? But yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think that more people need to start going unconventional with that stuff, because you're right. There's a lot of people that you can get to, and it, the conventional way doesn't work that well anymore.
Right. And look, I hate to say it, it is one more thing to babysit. I'm Gen X. I hate it because it's something I got to babysit. Yet I love what it does for my job. And so you just need to kind of find that dance and that balance. But the fear, we can look, there was a company, some of us remember, called Toys R Us, right? And that was the best place ever. At a certain point, they were terrified of the internet and what people wanted of them. They outsourced the shipping of their toys. They wanted people to come in the store. People didn't want to go in the store. They outsourced that element to a small unknown company called Amazon. People got used to buying their toys through the mail and no longer wanted to go into the store. So we can romanticize about how we remember it and how good it was and what we would like it to be. But the internet doesn't care, and the consumer world doesn't care either. They have their phone in the palm of their hand, their iPad on their other knee, and their TV on, and they're going to decide what they want to do. We have to rise to that challenge and meet them.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a huge conversation on a lot of levels. Because even, it's funny, I have kids and, they're now studying at home, but the school still has to raise money. So our school,
so you still getting hit up?
Yeah. So our school did a virtual festival. Every year we do a festival, we bring in a carnival and there's all this expense. But this year, my wife and I, since we're both producers, we helped produce a festival online where it was constant raising money. And the crazy thing is we raised 100,000 more
Wow.
than they had the year before at an actual festival. So
wow,
it just,
well done.
Well, yeah, thank you. But it goes to show you,
Convenience.
There could be a lot of new ways of raising money for film. And I think that there's a lot going on online. I mean, if you think about what you're doing, your award show is going to be virtual. I mean, I guess the stuff that you've been doing is virtual, right?
Right. So if you're the youth Oscars specifically, and by the way, that's a nickname from the Huffington Post. It's actually the Young Artist Academy, formerly Youth and Film from the 70s. But they wanted to be responsible. Early in March, they said, look, even if this pandemic clears up, there's no way we're going to put hundreds of kids and families into a building. So they started considering a virtual route, which the Emmys also did, but they had less time. And so we're seeing now really the industry kind of going in a direction it probably always was going to end up being anyway. It's just this year has compressed it and it's sped it up. So the Youth Oscars this month is on the 21st. Scarlett Johansson, Trevor Noah, Ian McKellen, Kelsey Grammer, Rod Roddenberry, George Takei, Patrick Stewart, like lots of good names. And now from wherever they are in the world, even if they're filming in Toronto or they're quarantining in LA, they're able to participate. They've wanted to in the past, but it was an appearance issue. And now they're coming together. So the kids are going to get this mentorship, this involvement, this engagement, this inspiration on a level they couldn't before. And that's a good thing.
That's pretty cool. And so that's the 41st annual show on November 21st.
Correct. On November 21st. So they're going to have a virtual red carpet. They still want the kids to have their moment. It's a little interesting pioneering this technology. I think the Academy's not quite sure, like anyone, how all it will turn out. But from what I've seen, it looks really fantastic. They said this is their moment.
How do we watch it?
I would suggest going to the Academy's official, the main site, youngartistacademy.org. You can watch it with a live engagement feature, which has a nominal fee, or you can watch it on YouTube Premieres. And then after the award show, winners will be invited to send in their acceptance speeches, and it's going to be repurposed to a TV special on Viva Live TV.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So the only bad news I have is that I did a film called Feliz Navidad, and it screens also on November 21st at 8 p.m.
Oh, no.
Come on, Robert.
All right. These competing times. Well, what time? Eastern time.
I'm gonna
West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
I'm gonna suggest people go to your awards show because I think we have a rebroadcast on the 13th.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Well, look, and the nice thing, another good thing about all this digital virtual, we literally can transcend time. I mean, that's the amazing thing.
Right.
We don't have to rush home and we don't have to record in TVR or a VCR. We can transcend time and watch it whenever we want, and we can still get the same takeaway.
So let me ask you: if a young person or an actor or a Grammy, if you win, why is it that so many Oscar winners end up getting nothing from, or supposedly nothing from their Oscar? Like there's no real gain from that. Is it because they're doing something wrong, or because they stop marketing themselves because they think an award win is just going to bring in job offers? What happens to people when they win an awards? Why doesn't it always work for them?
That's a great question. And I have
you don't want to answer
opinion.
that question.
No, I really love that you asked that question. I do want to answer it because I think it's just reflective of everything, every industry and every job. You can get into shape, and if you stop working out, you're not going to stay in shape, right? Yeah. You're not going to stay on top. So it is very much what you mentioned, in my opinion. This has given you a huge platform, a stepping stone. But if you shoot off all those fireworks and then don't do anything, people's attention is going to go elsewhere. So keeping busy, keeping active, and really when people win an Oscar, I think a lot of times it's so much about winning it. They put all of their publicity and their energy and their entertainment, blood, sweat, and tears to winning it. And then after, don't use it as a leverage to even greater success. Yeah.
Well, it's probably a couple of things. It's probably, you win an award and you're like, oh, well, my paycheck should go up and all of my asks should go up. So I think in a lot of cases you should stay humble and keep making yourself affordable and maybe put yourself out there for a couple more years and prove that you're the real deal, and then start really charging tons and tons of money for your services.
Most definitely. Remember, this is more a There you go. This is more it's a key that's going to get you in the door, but you still have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
The networking opportunities have always been there, but maybe people didn't want to give you the time of day. Now they're going to listen to you because you've won a Grammy, you've won an Emmy, you've won an Oscar, but you still have to give them a good idea. You still have to be a great content maker. Publicity isn't making something popular. It's making something known. It's putting the consumers in the path of your brand where you can now have their attention. But you can't play catch with yourself. You have to give something that other people want.
Right. You know, you're one of the smartest people I've ever interviewed on the show.
No.
You really are. I mean, you really know what you're talking about.
I love talking about this. Yeah, you know what? It's a fascinating industry. And I do feel bad. I think a lot of people get hurt. They get their feelings hurt working in the entertainment industry, or they get tired, and that's okay. But look, at the end of the day, if there is an algorithm, why not figure it out? The industry knows. That's why they keep on being successful. So part of what I've been doing and what my company's been doing, as we kind of took all this data and reverse engineered it, we said, hey, it's really very simple. And if people can educate themselves, get on board with how the industry works, well, then you can win at the game, just like anything. It's a playbook. Holy
mackerel. So let me ask you, this is really important. There's a lot of entrepreneurs and filmmakers and content providers listening to our show. Can they hire you? Do you work with everybody, or do you work across platforms, or do you specifically work with award shows and things like that? Or do you work with filmmakers?
Absolutely. I would say that's probably our highest consistent line of work, but we've also worked with foreign governments, departments of tourism. We've worked with, all sorts of brands and companies. So I would say, find us, AMB Publicity. Introduce yourself. We'll have a conversation. If it's something we think we can bring value, then we go from there.
Dude, you can bring value to a rock. Yeah. You're pretty amazing. But
just imagine with a couple cups of coffee.
I know, right? Well, I was thinking tequila. I wasn't thinking coffee, but
coffee and tequila.
That's different advice. Yeah.
But what's interesting is if you have an opportunity to get your film noticed, to get yourself noticed, to get yourself nominated for something, working with someone like you definitely feels like the right thing to do, especially today, as we're talking about it on the show. It just feels like you are someone that would be great on a team to help something like that happen. So, yeah.
And look, let me throw out one more last thing too. People tend to, with the entertainment industry, go to spectrums. They either demonize it, they hate all of the entertainment industry, or they love it so much, they live in it. And both of those, you're not seeing it clearly. So it is a business. It's show business. You can have your fun, but you still got to learn how to do your job.
The business of entertainment.
The business of entertainment. Yeah, that's it. So basically, when Made in Mexico starts winning awards,
it's not going to win awards unless you hire AMD. I'm telling you right now.
Well, then let's have a longer conversation.
Well,
about that.
That's tequila time. There we go.
There we go.
But I do want you to, Tootie's kidding, but I'm not. Will you take a look at my film?
Wait, why not my film?
Will you take a look at my movie on Netflix, Carlos Almaraz, Playing with Fire?
I most definitely will.
And then I want to have a conversation with you offline about what I can do with the Producers Guild and how I can help myself out there.
That sounds great. I'd love to. I will check it out today.
Tootie's just finishing up his movie. We'll figure out what we can do with him. And
we'll figure out what we can do with you, Tootie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll let Roberts go first because, he's the diva of the show and it's about him and, he's on Netflix. And
the big boss.
The big guy.
I know how it is, yeah.
I do want to thank you, Michelle Koshman, for being on the show. It was extremely informative, yeah. And I think we all learned a ton. I think everyone listening is going to be pretty excited about the show. This is just something that you don't normally get this kind of information. And, this show is about preparing for success. So assuming everybody that listens is on their way to making a successful movie and having successful careers and getting their first breaks, it's important for them to think past that, which is then working with companies like you, people like yourself that can help them further their brand and get them noticed and have them create more work for themselves. So thank you for being on the show. Thank you for educating Tootie on all
you
things
will be
publicity.
hearing from me, Michelle. Trust me. We will be talking.
look
We will
forward
be
to
having
it.
some tequila and coffee. Because that means that's a
Yes.
morning time thing. So we're gonna be coffee and tequila. It's not a bad drink.
What is
It's
that
really
called?
not.
That's called a caballo or something like that.
It's called Casa Mexico and Cafecito.
It's called you're hungover and you need a little coffee with tequila. in
Or
it.
you're gonna make some deals.
Let's do. Who knows what's in this cup? Is it coffee? It's a game. Sure.
Yeah.
There we go. It'll be a good game.
But definitely watch the Youth Oscars, 41st Awards show on November 21st. Because it's going to be off the hook. Scarlett Johansson, Trevor Noah, Patrick Stewart, Kelsey Grammer, Rod Roddenberry. Who's Rod Roddenberry? Didn't he create Star Trek or something?
Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek, the original series, and Rod Roddenberry, his son, created all the subsequent franchises.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't far off. I was close. It was in the
Close.
family.
Kind of.
But look, congratulations on your shows, on your success, on your company, and gosh, thank you for being on the show. It was really informative,
thank you,
and you're incredibly talented and smart, and I hope we can have you on again sometime.
Yeah.
Love what you guys do. Thank you. I'm honored.
All right, thanks. We'll talk to you soon. That was a great interview. You don't have to put the cans on.
I like wearing the cans.
Okay, that was a great interview.
That was a great interview. Good job, Roberts.
Great info, man.
Once again, you came through. I'm surprised.
Well, she contacted us.
Which is cool. I'm all about that. Contact us.
Yeah, she
Reach
was
out.
like, I like your show, and I want to talk about how you monetize award shows. And
I never knew any of that.
I didn't know what she was talking about when she contacted me. But you know, the interesting thing about this business is that there's a lot of things to know about it.
Yeah.
And this is one that you're not thinking about for sure.
No. I've never thought about that in my life until she started talking about it, and it all made sense.
Yeah, but Michelle Koshman knows what she's talking about.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking to her again.
I can't wait. I mean, I feel like I need a weekend seminar.
Yeah.
You know, to really understand what I'm doing. But it is weird if you think about it. I've been in the business for how many years I've been in, and
50, 60 years.
Yeah, something like that. But I really felt like Carlos Almaraz deserved a chance at being viewed by other producers and maybe get a producer's nod.
Yeah.
So I submitted it, but that's it. I put it in. I put in the amount of money it cost to do it, and I did nothing else. Zero.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't.
And it doesn't seem right that someone's been in the business as long as I have.
Don't know.
And I have no idea what to do.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm done.
Yeah. So I think I can probably do some Instagram stuff on my site, on the Almaraz site, to help bring awareness to the fact that you can vote for it. But yeah, that was interesting. What I didn't talk to her about is about extrememusic.com.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
I know. I kind of wanted to talk to her about it because I think there's probably tons of music and Grammys and all that kind of stuff that
plays a huge role in all that.
Yeah. A lot of the music that you use in those award shows and stuff's got to come from Russ.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's anybody else in the game. At least to me, there's not.
Well,
Russ is our guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in this game, but
not at that level, player.
Did you hear that Russ just got promoted?
Yeah.
Got promoted. It's his company. What do you mean?
Well, he got bought by Sony.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he got bought by Sony a while back ago, and he was running Extreme Music there. But I think now he's gotten promoted to running like Sony's stuff as well as his stuff.
Damn.
Yeah. So
what's up, Sony?
Yeah,
sponsorship up in here.
But Extreme Music is still, you're right. It's the leader in all library music. It's still being used by all the major shows. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of times you give your music to a composer, or you give your movie to a composer, and you don't see the movie again until the composer gives you the music.
Yeah.
I don't like working like that. I like going, I don't know.
Well, because you're musically inclined. You're like a musical producer. Like you learn music before you learned anything.
I sit down at my computer with my movie. It's not my movie. I mean, there's a director, there's other producers involved, there's all kinds of people.
You butt heads with the director?
No, because the other thing I've learned about the work that I do is that when you're doing things on a budget, your director doesn't work in the same way that a traditional director works, right? Sometimes a traditional director comes in like Robert Rodriguez or someone who's really an auteur.
Yeah.
Right. Quentin, who writes it, who's involved in every aspect of it, who's in the editing room fighting for cuts and in the end, the director's there at the beginning and he's there at the end.
Yeah.
Well, in our movies, it's all about speed because we don't have that much money.
Yeah.
So we prepare the movie. The director comes in, directs it, makes sure that the actors and the shots are all there.
Yep.
It goes to an editor. A few weeks later, there's a cut for the director to give his notes on.
Yep.
Once the director gives his notes on that cut, it's up to the producers to finish the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't have butting heads on the things that I work on.
But you're good in the sense that, like we were talking about this before.
Although
the show.
I've butted heads with directors.
You have
before.
butted. You've punched them because you're Rocky. You know what's interesting?
Well,
I was watching somebody. I'm not going to drop names, but I was watching a piece being cut like a sizzle. And they started to do some sound design, but not really. And there were these comedic moments where I was like, "Oh, that needs to be boosted up right there. You need some type of music under that." And they're like, "Dude, it's a sizzle. We're not done. Take it easy." I'm like, "I'm just saying, you're trying to sell the thing. I go, you need sound design."
No, again,
That's
trust
true.
yourself. You got to trust yourself. You're right.
Yeah.
When you're right, you're right. If you feel it, it should be there.
Yeah.
But listen, shout out to Extreme Music, Russ Emanuel. Congratulations on your promotion.
Congratulations.
And you know, Extreme Music for all your music needs. You know what was fun about Michelle?
Yeah.
Is that she said you were feelings.
He did.
Don't get all feelings. Didn't she say don't get all feelings?
Yeah, then you
Yeah, she
busted
did.
out the feelings.
And then I said feelings. She didn't hear me, but I was
Nothing more
like
than
feelings.
That's Roberts when he gets all feelings, baby.
Trying to forget my.
That's okay. He's sensitive.
All right, guys. Well, that was an incredibly good show.
Really
Very informative. Thank you, Dave, for making the
you.
trek. Thank you, Rod Tootie Rinks, for being here and being the good wingman.
Yeah.
And thank me because without me, none of this would be possible.
We were going to say that, man. Relax.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
All right, guys. See you next week. Thanks.